I came to Peru for one reason, to see Machu Picchu before my body shut down. Machu Picchu, ancient Incan city, wonder of the world, the thing on every bucket list ever written. But first, Cusco, 11,000 feet above sea level, the gateway you cannot skip. 3 steps off the bus, headache. 5 steps, nausea. 10 steps, my legs turned into decorative pool noodles. A 70-year-old woman walked past me, carrying groceries like she was on a casual stroll. I was experiencing what doctors call sudden onset death preview. She was deciding between chicken or fish for dinner. I tried to stand up. My brain said yes. My organs said we quit. A street dog walked by and made eye contact. Even the dog looked concerned. Survival tip number 1. Cusco sits higher than most commercial planes fly. Your body will mutiny. Do not fight it. Accept your new life as a bench ornament for the first 24 hours. I crawled to the hotel. The receptionist handed me a cup of tea before I could speak. She told me to drink it. I drank it. 30 minutes later, I could stand without seeing God. I asked what was in it. Coca leaves. I looked down at my cup. I asked if she meant coca like the cocaine plant. She said yes. I was holding a Schedule II controlled substance in 49 US states. In Cusco, it comes with turned-down service. Here's the thing about Cusco. Cusco doesn't scam you. It waits for you to make a mistake, then charges you for it. I made every mistake it needed. I planned to buy Machu Picchu tickets when I arrived, like a normal person, like someone who has never used the internet before. I opened the official ticket website. It loaded in Spanish. I switched to English. Half the page stayed in Spanish. This was my first warning. I ignored it. I clicked buy tickets. The calendar appeared. Tomorrow, sold out. Next week, sold out. Next month, sold out. I kept scrolling. I found availability 3 months away. I had 4 days in Peru. I had already flown across the planet to see something I now couldn't enter. Scam card. Machu Picchu complexity risk. Apocalyptic. Advanced planning required. Yes or cry. Website functionality held together by prayer. Then I learned about circuits. Circuit 1. Classic view takes 2 hours. Circuit 2. Agricultural terraces takes 2.5 hours. Circuit 3. I still do not understand what Circuit 3 shows you. You pick your date, your entry time, your circuit, your blood type, your grandmother's maiden name. I filled out the form. I clicked submit. The page told me my session had expired. It told me to start again. I started again. Same result. I tried 6 times. On attempt number 7, the website crashed completely. Survival. Tip number 2. Book Machu Picchu. Tickets the exact moment you decide Peru exists. This is not travel planning. This is Hunger Games for tourists. I walked to a travel agency. A woman smiled at me the way sharks smile at injured seals. She asked if I needed Machu Picchu tickets. I said yes. She asked for when. I said tomorrow. She told me she had tickets. I asked how much. $180? The official price is $45. I started to say, that seemed expensive. She interrupted me. Transport included, guide included, lunch included, water bottle included. I told her I just needed the ticket. She told me the water bottle was very nice. I paid $180 for a ticket and a water bottle I did not want. This is what procrastination costs in Cusco, 4 times the price, plus a water bottle with the agency logo on it. I still have the water bottle. It mocks me daily. Cusco's main square is one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. Spanish colonial buildings, 2 cathedrals that look like they were built by people who really wanted God to notice, mountains surrounding everything like a hug made of stone. I was hungry. Every restaurant around the plaza had balcony seating. Every menu had English translations. Every waiter spotted me before I spotted them. I sat down at a place with a good view. The menu arrived. Alpaca steak, $16. Quinoa soup, $8. Bottle of water, $4. I asked the waiter if the alpaca was big. He told me it was very traditional. Traditional is not a size. Scam card. Plaza de Armas, price inflation is criminal. The 2-block rule can save your entire food budget. The view tax is aggressive and unapologetic. The steak arrived. 3 pieces, each the size of a commemorative coin. I ate it in 4 bites. I was still hungry. The waiter brought the check before I could ask for more. $16 plus service charge. I paid. I left. I walked 2 blocks away from the plaza. Same alpaca steak, $10. The plate was so big it had its own gravitational field. Rice, potatoes, salad, soup, alpaca that actually looked like it came from an animal, not a jewelry box. The difference between tourist Cusco and local Cusco is exactly 2 blocks. I measured. Survival, tip number 3. The plaza is for Instagram. The side streets are for not going bankrupt. If you can see a cathedral from your seat, you are paying a visibility tax that funds someone's vacation home. Walking through Cusco is like walking through a passive-aggressive history lesson. The Incas built walls out of massive stones, fitted so perfectly you cannot slide paper between them. No mortar, no cement, just rocks and math and spite. I tried. My finger did not fit. A credit card did not fit. Air barely fit. Then the Spanish arrived in 1533. They saw these perfect walls and thought, free foundation. They built their churches directly on top of Inca temples. You can see the moment one civilization ended. The Inca stones are dark, perfect, unbreakable. The Spanish stones are lighter, uneven, held together by religious conviction and luck. It is like watching Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel and then letting your nephew finish the corners in crayon. I stood here for 10 minutes. History is not subtle when it is literally built into the street. Every building in central Cusco is a crime scene with a nice view. Getting to Machu Picchu requires a train ride, unless you want to hike the Inca Trail for 4 days. I did not want to hike for 4 days. I wanted to sit. The ticket agent told me round trip to Aguascalientes was $140. I asked if that was for both ways. She said yes. I asked how long the ride was. 1.5 hours, $140 for 90 minutes on a train. I did the math. This train costs more per kilometer than most international flights. I could fly from Los Angeles to Las Vegas for $60. That is 450 kilometers. This train goes 82 kilometers for $140. I asked if I had other options. She told me I could take Inca Rail instead of Peru Rail. I asked how much that was. $135, $5 cheaper. This is what monopoly looks like when it pretends to have competition. Survival, tip number 4. Budget for the train like you budget for rent. This is not optional transport. This is a mandatory financial mugging with scenic windows. The train was beautiful. The views were stunning. I watched the Sacred Valley roll past. I thought about my bank account. It was not rolling, it was falling. Worth it. Probably. Ask me again when the credit card bill arrives. By day 2, I thought I had adjusted. My headache was gone, the nausea had stopped, and I felt human again. I decided to walk to the San Blas viewpoint. It is uphill, but I was fine now. I started climbing. 10 steps, fine. 20 steps. My lungs started working harder than usual. 30 steps, genuine concern. 40 steps, out-of-body experience. 50 steps, I started negotiating with God. 3 children sprinted past me. They were playing tag, and I was playing, "Please do not let me die on these stairs." A woman selling bracelets stopped next to me. She asked if I needed rest. I could not speak, so I nodded. She asked if I had been drinking coca tea. She pulled out a bag from her pocket and handed me tea bags. $2, very good for altitude. I paid her $2. She walked up the stairs like they were flat ground. I sat there for 5 more minutes. I eventually made it to the top. The view was incredible. I took 1 photo, then I walked back down. Walking down was easy. Gravity is free in Cusco, oxygen costs extra. Tour agencies sell the Sacred Valley tour for $20. Full day, multiple ruins, lunch included. I booked it because I had an extra day. I expected filler content, the thing you do when you have time to kill. The first stop was Pisac, Inca ruins built into the side of a mountain with agricultural terraces that look like green stairs for giants. The tour guide pointed at things and used the phrase "sacred to the Incas" 12 times in 15 minutes, and I wandered off to take photos. I saw a terrace wall that looked climbable. It was not marked with a "do not climb" sign. This was my first mistake. I climbed up. The stones were bigger than they looked from the ground and older and more unstable. I was halfway up when I heard whistling, sharp and loud, angry whistling. A security guard was standing at the bottom, pointing at me, then pointing at the ground, making a very clear, "Get down here right now." gesture. Climbing down was harder than climbing up. The stones were loose, my hands were sweating, and the guard was still whistling. I made it down, and the guard walked over. He did not look happy. He told me climbing the terraces was prohibited. There were signs. Small signs in Spanish on the other side of where I started climbing. He told me the terraces were ancient, that climbing them causes damage, and that this is why they are prohibited. I apologized. He pulled out a notebook and asked for my passport. I did not have my passport, but I had a photo of it on my phone. He looked at the photo, wrote down my passport number, and told me that if I climbed anything else, I would be removed from the site. I walked back to my tour group, and they had watched the entire thing. A German tourist told me his friend got fined $200 at Machu Picchu. I got lucky. The next stop was Ollantaytambo, a massive Inca fortress built into a mountainside. This time, I stayed on the marked paths. I did not touch anything. I did not climb anything. And I only took photos from approved locations. The Sacred Valley is full of ruins that are older than most European cities. Without the crowds of Machu Picchu, without the 3-month booking requirement, and with security guards who take their job very seriously. Survival tip number 5. The Sacred Valley tour is worth doing. The ruins are massive and empty. Just stay on the paths. Those no climbing signs exist because tourists kept breaking 500-year-old walls. Do not be that tourist. I was almost that tourist. Cusco is not an easy city. It will try to kill you on arrival, financially injure you if you are unprepared, and charge you $16 for 3 bites of alpaca. But it will also show you things you cannot see anywhere else. You see the exact moment empires changed hands, altitude that makes you understand why ancient people thought mountains were gods, and medicine that is illegal in your country but mandatory in theirs. I spent 4 days in Cusco. My body hated day 1, my wallet hated day 2, and by day 4, I understood why people come back. Cusco will humble you before it rewards you. The humbling is mandatory, and the reward requires 3 months of advanced planning and $180. But the coca tea is immediate. I asked the hotel for more tea before I left. The receptionist smiled, pulled out a bag with 6 coca tea boxes, and told me it was for my flight. I asked if it was legal to take home, and she told me to have a safe journey. I am not saying I am an international plant smuggler. I am saying I went through customs with 6 boxes of coca leaves in my carry-on, and nobody stopped me. Cusco teaches you 3 things. Plan everything months in advance, walk 2 blocks away from beauty, and do not climb ancient Inca terraces even when they look climbable. My altitude sickness is gone, my bank account is not, and my passport number is in a Peruvian security guard's notebook. But I kept the water bottle, $180 for a ticket, and forced hydration. The scam included a lifetime reminder and coca tea I legally should not have. Cusco didn't scam me, I did. At least the scam came with hydration.